Like, you know what I mean? Here's the thing.
It still is. I think.
Okay, I'm gonna just say. Here's my thing, right?
Go ahead.
It's like when it comes to rap music, whenever I hear white rap artists, like I'm always like whack. To me, it's like no, I can see they're technically good. You know what I mean? Bars on bars.
Okay.
But to me, it's got no flavor. It's like oatmeal. Effective, but do I want to eat it every day? I mean, yeah, you can say it's healthy.
You want to
but-
lower your cholesterol.
You know what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't get me going. And like it's just one of those things. Like as a hip hop fan, like I can respect the skill, but it never had the essence for me personally. But then I listen to some like Radiohead, and like even though that's so like estranged from me culturally, as music I could appreciate. It was like it's like almost as an outsider looking in. Like I appreciate it. You know what I mean? I'm never gonna feel the way about Creep the way white people feel about it, because white people like you play Creep's Radiohead.
Go to any karaoke with a group of white people.
Like for them, it's clearly special.
first
Same thing
song.
with like "Lose Yourself," Eminem. Like no black person is ever gonna say that's a special song for them. But you play like "Lose Yourself" for white people, they lose their fucking shit.
they lose themselves.
Like
They
old
lose
white people
themselves.
start rapping.
Yeah, but the thing that happened with that
Like
is,
Bob, who's on early retirement, is like me and my deck. You gotta lose yourself in the moment. You want like Bob, calm down.
yeah,
But it
because
means something.
That's the closest that they can get to say nigga.
But like it's their
the
version.
N-word.
It's their version of whatever that is. Like for them, "Lose Yourself" means something. I have like this big theory about Eminem, but I'm not getting into that. But that matters. The same way for us.
That Marshall matters.
Nice.
Right? The same way for us. Like when we hear Busta Rhymes and we hear a good Busta
And the
song.
reason I think it comes it comes down to the dancing thing, where, cause see, when I hear Jeep, let scoop Beamers in the Benz, to all my ladies and my men, to all my niggas in the pens, keep your head up into the hood. Like I gotta move. You understand? I can respect Eminem. I respect what he does, but it doesn't make me move.
Yeah.
It doesn't move my soul.
No.
But there's some songs that are technically okay that I'm like, ugh. That is just there's just some grind to it. It's just I get that.
Because you're an insider feeling it from there. Like for most people, a lot of times, like there's people who are fans of hip hop, but they don't get in their chest the same way we get in our chest. You know what I mean? Because again,
Culturally.
that's it. That's it. Everything is relative. Like I can appreciate a lot of Arabic music, but like you put it for Arabic people and their reaction viscerally, how crazy they go.
Yeah.
Like, all
get
that-
a couple of Lebanese people and put some Dap K on, and it's done.
done. For them,
Over.
it's a different. And well, sometimes white people get mad at me when I say this stuff. You know what I mean? They're like, no, but I'm a truth. I'm not saying you don't really appreciate it. I'm not saying you don't love to go to the concerts, but it just doesn't mean for you what it means for a lot of people who actually come from it. That's all I'm saying.
When I hear when you hear doom 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 doom.
I'll give you a better one.
Let the boys be boys. I'm a B-boy. My B-boy stand. Yo, that shit gets me lit.
Annie up.
Yo,
That was Limp Bizkit, right?
take your shit. Take all your shit.
That's the
Take
second
your-
time I'm getting kicked
Take
out,
your
bro.
shit. Get the fuck
That's
out.
what I love. And they used to play Annie up in the crowd, and you were not allowed to play that when black people
No.
were present.
No.
You weren't allowed to play when black people were present because when you hear that Annie Up song from not Mop Deep, what's his name?
MOP.
MOP. Yeah. So when
Because
you
it scares people. It
it
scares white
scares,
people.
but for
it's
us,
just the
it's
energy.
like
Yeah.
it's an energy. Like I can't help
Yo,
it.
they played Annie Up, and I'm rhyming to people I don't even know, and we rhyme to even.
Yeah.
Take things off. Take things off.
Yeah.
Take things off. And we rhyme. We don't even know each other. And the song changed, and we're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that bring
That it's culture more than it is race.
yeah.
It's
That's
culture.
what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's
That's
culture.
why I was half kidding when I was like, is it genetic? Obviously, it's not a
Yeah.
genetic thing.
Yeah, of course
dance.
not. But that's what
It's
it's
all
really
cultural, right?
It's really a
But-
culture thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the way like I remember they like did this test and they're like, could you tell the difference between like a black and a white singer?
Yes.
Like if you couldn't see them. And like I remember doing the test and like I guessed it every time.
Yeah.
Because there's just a different approach to singing. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna catch black people doing a Britney Spears type of song or a Christina Aguilera type of
And
vocals.
even if they
because
do,
it's just a different approach.
And even if they do, it's something else. They're gonna flip it. Some other thing. You know what? You can't explain it. You cannot. You can't.
Yeah.
How? How can you tell? I could tell. I can't tell you how I can tell, but I can tell.
It's a couple of things. Actually, I know some stuff. It's like the way you pronounce certain letters. So, for example, black people don't traditionally pronounce their R's. They don't overpronounce. So they won't say door, they'll say the door. Right? And so when they're singing songs...
Outside the door.
Yeah, you see, he said that? And just the way he said the R, you're like, I see the way. There's just certain ways.
You normally don't open your mouth when you say R.
Door.
And like even vocals, like black people, even if they got the vocals in songs that we love, we're not busting out Whitney Houston type vocals for most of that stuff. It's more of a Brandy type of pocket, you know what I'm saying? Where it stays really mellow.
Yeah.
There's like a flow that we like, whereas like white people love to hit them deep vocals, like Adele or like Christina Aguilera. Like Christina, like those grunts that she does, you want like a fucking chainsaw motor.
I fucking can't.
That's just my motorcycle switch. That's what it is.
And this is not hate. It's just like noticing those differences and appreciating them for what I like a lot of Christina Aguilera's music, but I also recognize it's a different cultural experience. You know what I'm saying? So that's why for me I get so into it sometimes, but I also recognize that separation. There is a difference in culture, and I think that's what results in different sounding.
I think the white person that could mimic it the most was what's her name? I think she has like a Greek name. I don't remember her name.
If she's mixed, it doesn't count. Mixed people
No,
are
she's
wild
not
cards.
mixed. She's
Yeah.
They're wild cards.
They're wild
either way.
cards. Yeah, wild cards.
Yeah,
are
wild
mixed.
cards.
Sometimes they'd be like, "Oh, listen, I'm gonna bust out all them vocals," and I'm like, "Something's off about this song." Yeah, mixed girls. That's the only ones.
Anastasia, that's the name.
Oh, yeah.
Not Anastasia Barrino, the one from American Idol.
That's
another
Fantasia.
one. Yeah, Fantasia. I'm sorry. Yeah, there you go. You're right.
Yeah, I know you're talking about now.
Anastasia, but even her.
Yeah.
But she was the one that was the closest.
But even her, she probably won't pop off with black people because we don't like it. You know, there was some.
No.
I was watching this D'Angelo interview, and he grew up in I think it was Pentecostal churches, and they're when they perform, it's like a big deal for them. And one thing he said that I think pretty much embodies like what I call black music, right, is when he would be at the church and they're performing, they're like, when you up there, don't be up there looking cute. You up there singing for the Lord.
Yeah.
So you better hit me in my chest. And that to me embodies what black music is about. We're not trying to show off in that our vocal range. It's about hitting you deep in here with basically that flavor, that pocket, that deep groove. And so I've always appreciated that, and I think that's what exemplifies it for me.
Do you think that comes from that cultural religious thing that you were talking about that is prevalent in like black North America or just black community in general?
The religious thing is
like
just the tool to convey it.
right, but do you think that difference, you were saying that you can tell the difference between, let's say, a black vocalist and a white vocalist.
Right.
Do you think there's some element that comes from exactly like you're saying, like singing for the Lord
Okay.
Yeah.
versus...
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I'm not just saying
it's
because
the approach. It's the approach that I was talking about.
Is that the defining thing between
It's a
black
mixture.
and white?
if I sing good, that's gonna be my ticket to heaven. Hey, I sang good, Lord. Good,
like-
Lord, you know I sang good.
Yeah.
Lord, dear Lord, you know I sang good.
Yeah.
I sang good for you, Lord.
Yeah, because you know what? Like we have sayings sometimes. Like someone's like belting it out. Like you're doing too much.
You doing yeah.
Like you're trying too hard.
trying
Like
too hard.
there's a coolness to black people that comes from understanding you don't have to go that distance. And I guess when I listen to singers, I can tell them just the approach. Oh, something's there. Where this person, the only person who's ever fooled me, is Bobby Caldwell. Bobby Caldwell's a funk artist, right? And I remember I hear a song, you know, like "What You Won't Do." Do for love,
yeah.
right?
You
That
buy-
song, yeah.
But you buy anything. But just in this coolness, I'm like, this motherfucker hanging around black people.
Yeah, because like, and it's crazy
Yeah.
because he sounded so black sometimes.
Yeah.
Like they would hide his face on the records
Yeah.
so that nobody
yeah.
would know. And it wasn't until later that his record label was like, all right, we can let. I remember his like first big music video. You can actually watch this up on YouTube, but I think it's "Do for Love."
Yeah.
You see it starts and it's just a black silhouette. And you're just like, ooh, okay. And then the lights come off. You see this white dude. You're like, what? And you go watch the YouTube videos. Like, wait, this guy's white. And then everyone was shocked. And he does such a great
To this
job.
day, people think that he's black because he
had that pocket.
but he was mellow,
Mellow.
mellow, as hell, not
Mellow.
doing too much.
But he really got the essence of what it is to sing in that tone, that feel. You know,
It's like
But-
a little bit of the Neville Brothers with I don't know much. You know the guys that sing that? But I know I love you.
It's a way of doing stuff. That shit's funny to me.
But I think that Neville Brothers, it's two brothers. I don't know much. But he's going high, but not doing. He doesn't speak louder than this. But I know I love you. Baby,
that's a great impression.
I need to know.
But like, you're not gonna.
but get this. I'm not a singer. I just had to mellow it.
Yeah.
I just had to bring it down. I'm talking like this, but I don't know much.
And listen, that's a hit song. That's a hit song. Yeah. But
Oh man.
I've come to really appreciate those differences, and it's also about like, you know, a lot of my friends will get mad when they'll hear Post Malone. Oh, yo, why is this whack ass thing? But I'm like, it's not for you.
No, it's not for
you.
you.
Go to his concerts, it's like 95% white folks, and it's okay.
95. I've been to a Post Malone concert.
Okay.
It's 100.
Okay, right? Because we don't mess with that. Even though I can recognize, like, okay, he does things really well melodically, and like I can see the skill in what he does. I recognize that culturally, for me, it's not meant to speak to me, and so I don't get mad at it. I'm like, it's not for me, and it's cool.
Right.
It's just a different.
But you can
thing.
still appreciate it because that's interesting. You know, I
Yeah.
grew up like family's Lebanese. That Arabic music was in the house,
Yeah.
Right.
and I do appreciate it. But as a kid, for whatever reason, reggae. Like just as a kid, it's weird because it's a culture I'm so disconnected
No,
from.
but that's not
Jamaican
everybody.
culture.
That-
Sure, I think there's a roots.
Reggae gets everybody.
Yeah.
You mind, I don't like reggae. I play you Three Little Birds
know
by
some
Bob
people-
Marley. This
Yeah.
shit's gonna get you.
Yeah.
I know some people who. I've heard people say I like everything but reggae and country. I've heard people say that,
It's fine.
Even country.
and that's when I go.
Even country. I like some
There's
trap.
Oh, sure,
there's some
man.
people.
John
There's some people.
Denver.
Yeah, there's some
Okay.
people in country. They got a little bit of that mellow thing going on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I'm about to sing
Way
a
down
song.
in Louisiana, just about a mile from Texarkana.
That was pretty
And then
good.
Mold. Dude, CCR. Is that country? Or is that bluegrass? I don't know.
But yeah, you were saying that you
Yeah.
grew up with reggae.
Yeah, man. Like it's weird because like, and then I got into culture.
Who showed you reggae?
My brother. My brother's a musician, right? He's always been. He's one of those people who he likes anything, can get down anything. He's a very talented musician. Plays the drums. He's played for a long time. And he just had all kinds of CDs laying around. And one day I picked up either a mix or just like, it was mainly Bob Marley. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I remember it was like the World Cup 98. And I was like, for whatever reason, just as like a 10-year-old, just chubby Lebanese kid, I was like, I want to jam it with you. And then all of a sudden, I was like, this day, that's
To this day.
to this day, son.
It's stuck.
I'm bumping that Three Little Birds like. I don't know.
No, and it's great. It's great music.
Yeah, no, it just stuck. And then like I went and explored other artists and Gregory Isaacs and Dennis Brown and
Let me ask you something. If I say you're a fan of reggae, you would agree with that? You're a
yeah,
big fan? Right.
Yeah, huge fan.
And if someone from Jamaica is like, you love reggae, and I
Yeah.
respect it, enjoy it, but you don't feel it like we feel it, would that upset you?
No, of course not.
Yeah.
They're like, of
No,
course.
but you feel it like you feel it.
That's right. And there's
that's
nothing
it.
wrong with that.
It doesn't diminish my enjoying it.
No,
My question is like, why do people get so upset about being an outsider?
because it's about how they feel. It's like
They want to identify with it so much.
Yeah, and I'm
but you
like-
can appreciate something without identifying with it. Like I don't have to pretend. I don't have to walk around like "Yeah, man, wagwan," and you're like, "Why are you talking like that, bro?"
I can love Indian cuisine. I can love it. I'm not Indian. And I'm not Indian. Like, for an Indian person who
Yeah, but
grew up,
you cannot enjoy Indian cuisine like they enjoy Indian cuisine.
of course not. I
Of
can't
You don't
course
shit
not.
fire like they
because
shit
they
fire.
grew up in it. They were steeped in the sauces. Their clothes smelled like it every day. You know what I'm saying? Like their parents raised them with love in that aspect. So it makes sense to me that there is a difference. Now, I don't use that to invalidate someone's opinion. I don't use that to be like your opinion's inherently garbage because of the fact you aren't. I'm not saying that. You could still be a good judge of Indian cuisine and still not have raised it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's a different experience for you.
Definitely.
And you being an outsider is not an insult. You can still love something from the outside. I don't know why everyone feels like they have to be an insider. That's what always got to me about this conversation because I know people get mad.
But it's not everybody that can do conversation. It's not everybody that can. Everybody has a right to talk, but it's not everybody that should talk. You know, it's not everybody that have everything that they need the maturity that they need to talk and to discuss with people. You know what I mean? People want to discuss, but sometimes most people don't have the tools to discuss.
Sometimes they're not impacted
No,
too.
they don't have the tools. They just don't have the tools.
Yeah.
They can't do it.
No.
So it's just useless to have a conversation with them. I mean,
But there's also no stakes in it for them.
no.
You know what I mean? Like, if this thing goes south for them, it doesn't mean anything. Whereas for us, it's a cultural experience.
Yeah.
So when hip hop is like malrepresented and it's not
Yeah.
well reflected, that reflects on me
Yeah,
inherently. It just
absolutely.
it is what it is. The same way with, like, you know, you can take any type of culture. When that thing is misrepresented, the people from that culture are the ones who are going to be the most hurt by it. So when you feel like you have an equal stake in the conversation, I'm like, no, you don't. You don't. Because the reality is I'm always going to have more of a stake because it's always going to affect me more where this goes.